Computer. Lights.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. In theory, Colton and Pepper will be here at some point, so I'm just going to keep working and working like I do and see what happens here. And there we go. Just like that. I'm going to go on ahead and switch over to the monitor, and I'm guessing they'll show up at some point. I don't know where they are, but I'm going to work on star maps. Okay. Colton's here. Look, it's Colton. I feel like that's like a thing, right? To say, look, it's Colton. Anyway.
I just show up. It's fine.
Mm-hmm. You just beam in.
Right.
I'm working on star maps, as usual.
Star maps? Like legit stars?
Yep.
Nice.
I have been working on kind of an idea and a concept for modified star maps for a while.
Okay.
Because, a top-down view, Pepper is in Atlanta. In theory, he said he might be joining us in a bit. So we'll see. Hello, Brent. Good to see you. Hey, he actually was in our little Facebook group, butt dialing us, apparently.
I was really confused. They're like, hey, you're joining us? I'm like, yeah, sure. Let me finish getting presentable.
Yeah, not only that,
Pepper was calling us.
We got Raphael too, who was like, I'm driving. What you guys talking about? I'm like,
hey, Brett.
It's like, I'm like, I don't know why he called us here. I don't know what that means.
I was confused.
I was too. So, star maps that are top down are very hard to see the difference of things. Like you could have two stars that on the map are right next to each other, but really because one is like way closer, it's a long haul from one star to the other. So I had a better idea about this. I'm going to do it in 3D. So I'm building it all in DAZ Studio. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to build layers at parsec levels. So this is the plus 20 parsecs layer of clouds. This is in my story, I have, Bellatrix is right by a big cloud wall. Apparently the solar system is in a big hole in the galaxy where there's no dust or clouds. So we're in this open area. Well, Bellatrix is right at the end of that bubble. So I put all the stars on the other side of the wall. And in my story, our faster than light ships have to slow down way slow down when they go into these clouds. That gives sort of a terrain so that there's oh no, drama. We need to slow down a lot because clouds or whatever. In real life, these clouds are really super, disperse and stuff, but that's all right. That's okay. we'll pretend. It's fair. A faster than light engine. So, whatever. I make up all the rules anyway. So
you are the creator.
Right. So I make up all the rules. So what I'm doing here is it's a cloud. So clouds usually have sort of strings and things inside them. So I'm just putting like these rivulets in the clouds where it's open. And so the idea is that a ship can drop down into these little trails here and move faster because they're gaps in the cloud. But you have to kind of be quick at the wheel because the clouds shift and move. The Church of the Creator. Oh, God. I'm Jackson Roykirk.
All hail guy.
Anyway, so that's what I'm doing, is making sort of these clouds and just opening up little pits inside them and holes so that it's kind of fun to think about where this is. But I'll be
It's like a
loading this.
wispy, smoky cloud. I like it.
Yeah, exactly. And they're all going in the way of the galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
So the galactic spin is this way, going this way. So when we look at the galaxy as it spins, my thought is it'd probably be very much like clouds in the sky. It just gets pulled apart as the clouds get pulled apart as the wind blows it, or in this case, gravity pulls it. So you'll get these kind of, where it once was together, and then as time goes on, it pulls apart kind of like this, and you get these openings that open up inside there, and so I'm going to do that.
That's
and
cool.
I'll do that at plus 20, plus 30, and plus 40, and then plus 50, because all of the stars are about 45 parsecs up from the galactic center. I was yesterday doing the same thing, but then I realized I had my thickness of the galaxy screwed up. I was like, here is all of the stars, and I'm like, gosh, it seems like it's really thin. Then I was like, uh-oh, I think I have a scale problem. And I did. I had a scale problem. So
What do you mean the size of your galaxy?
So the galaxy is 300 parsecs thick, like from the bottom to the top of the galaxy. So center line would be 0 would be at about 150 parsecs from either side, right, in the center. So I had been placing all of my star charts where they were plus or minus from 0, the dead center, because Earth actually sits about 20 parsecs up from that midline in the middle of the galaxy. So I was like, I'll just, if you think about it from the point of view of like a whole bunch of races, nobody's going to set 0 as Earth, because, Earth was
Have you
one
met
planet.
humanity?
Yeah, right. I mean, like Star Trek does. And I
know. I'm just saying, have you met humanity? We like to think of everything is about
everything
us.
centers around us. Yes, but by the time we join the culture in this comic, we are race number like 12 that's joined the collective.
That's fair.
So they
it's like Mass Effect. Okay.
Yeah. So they set the 0 to be the center of the galaxy, and 0 degrees is in line with the bar of the galaxy, because our galaxy is a barred galaxy. It's got a bar in the center that spins.
So like the equator.
Yep. So the line that goes out. So we are like 30 degrees off that bar.
See, that's it.
Right? The center of it all. So we're 30 degrees off the bar and about 40 parsecs off the center and stuff like that. So we actually are in a literally like sector 4000. It's not even like, it's not even any kind of, there's no significance to where we are.
That's fair.
So I'm just making the map that shows all of the stars that my heroes are going to drive through over the next 8 comics, because they do one loop around these stars. And the thing is that it will dictate.
Now, when you say comics, I can't remember, because I haven't really kept up with Bellatrix, but like, are we talking like chapters as comics, or are we talking as pages? Because I remember you used to do like the daily page.
In this instance, it's full comics. So
you are doing the full like 50 pages,
yada,
yada, yada.
They're episodes. I do them in episodes. Some episodes are 2 comics, so 2 32-page comics. Some episodes are 3.
2 32-page comic? Oh my God. So you do 64
and some of them are 3
pages
32 pages.
Damn.
You know that I wrote like 300 and something pages of Tamerlane, right?
I do remember that, yes.
Yeah. So I mean,
because I remember I think you brought the script to me once, and I was like, "What the fuck?" You're like, "I've been writing." I'm like, "Wow."
I mean, I know I can do it. I know I've got the ability to, and really, this is all just based on sitting down with my dad and him going, "Why are you writing a CBS property. You know, he's like, this is good work. This is good stories. These are good pictures. And you can't sell any of it because it's Star Trek. And I'm like, aw. And he was like,
True.
so why don't you just rename everything, make it the same thing, and make it your own universe, and then you could sell it all you want. And then COVID hit, and I was like, you know what I should do? I should spend some time world building. You know, get my world set up so that all the rules are straight and everything, you know, makes logical sense. And so I effectively started writing a role-playing book, in essence, you know?
Right.
Because that's really kind of what I'm doing. It's like, but I'm getting to the end of it now. All of the stuff is written down. And some of the stuff that I've written, Colton, you just find funny. Like, I mean, like, there is stuff in here in my sketchbook. It's hard to read, but it's like just all it is just numbers and like all the things to make this work.
That's awesome.
But I
helped
went through
with the language.
Yeah, I've got its own. Yeah, Tamarbeshi.
Nice.
So it's got its own language.
That's awesome.
We're calling it Tamarbeshi because it's like named after Tamerlan. But yeah, it's in fact here I'll show you. I'll do
the written language. Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, because it's 500 years from now, nobody's going to speak English, right?
That's fair.
Here, I'll show you.
We'll be a conglomerate of everything by then.
Well, yeah, that's the idea, is that humans all got conglomerated.
Right.
There, look at that.
That's cool.
And what I was really thinking was, I love the fact that Star Wars has Aurebesh in it. You know, so like everything in Star Wars has these, you know, there's its own language. And so I wanted something similar because I thought, hey, you know, that would be definitely a thing. You'd definitely have sort of a language that had evolved from. It looks a little bit like Arabic. It looks a little bit like English. It looks a little bit like Cyrillic.
Yeah.
You know, so
it also looks alien-esque, which is always cool.
Right. I borrowed elements. The capital letters are all modified versions of the Chinese kanji, so they look like, you know, kind of like their kanji. So I made them more complex. But yeah, I mean, that's what I've been doing on the show, is bits and pieces of world building.
Right.
So we now have, you know, this environment where we've got buildings and worlds, you know, that's got its own language. And I get to explore a lot of it because one of the characters in my comic is actually from the 21st century. So she was displaced in time.
That's cool.
And shows up 500 years in the future. And so we get to go through her eyes and explore all this world where there's a language she can't read. She doesn't understand what's going on. And, you know, different cultural mores.
Which character is that?
So that's the character we haven't met yet. So,
we haven't met her yet. Okay.
Yeah, her name's Alex, and we haven't met her yet. She's actually part of the large part of the story. The overarching story, because I've got two stories that are kind of going on here. I've got a episodic story, and then we pick up this girl in the first episode, and that's the plot of the first episode. Is, you know, we pick up this. She's like a 14-year-old girl or whatever on one of the planets out here on the other side of the wall.
The AI pets.
Yes. Brent has his own AI dragon.
Nice.
So they're sent on the other side of the wall. They go to a planet called Moment, which is the name of the planet. And they go there, and these guys at Moment, it's like this backwater place. And they have captured two people. One of them was a dissident who's trying to drum up. You know, she's from the bad guys in the story.
Uh-huh.
She's trying to drum up dissidents on the other side of the wall in the exclusion zone. And the other is this teenage girl that they found wandering around in the desert.
Uh-huh.
And she doesn't talk. She doesn't say anything. She didn't have anything on her. She wasn't even wearing clothes. So they gave her clothes and put her. They didn't know what to do. She struggled and tried to fight. So they put her in a cell, because they didn't know what to do. So when the Unity ship shows up, they're like, well, we're just an outpost. So take them,
Who
we
wants
don't know
her?
what to do with them. So you can have them. And so they pick up these two, and they're going to meet with a Commonwealth ship at some point in time to offload the dissident. That's not a problem, but they've got to deal with the girl. They don't know what to do with her. And at some point, one of the AIs on the ship starts talking to the girl. And they're like, wait, she wasn't talking. And the AI is like, that's because she's speaking an ancient language called English. And I speak all of the languages because I'm an AI.
Ancient language called English. I know, that's
right?
just funny.
But I mean, that's the thing, right? She's speaking English. And when she first started talking to these people, it's 500 years out of date. And if we were to pick up somebody today who is speaking 500-year-old English, even English 500 years ago is completely incomprehensible. Nobody.
I think it's comprehensible, but definitely the slangs in that would definitely get someone going.
Not 500 years ago. That's actually what they call Old English, not Middle English.
Oh,
like back then, when we get to that era, English is so distorted by that point that it's. I mean, you could grasp that we were speaking the same language ish, but this, of course, what they're speaking, this Tamarbeshi that they're speaking, is a conglomeration of every language on the planet thrown together, mixed up, and then logically assembled into a universal language that everybody could speak. So English isn't primary. Chinese is primary because that's the majority of the people on the planet. So
I didn't know
it would have
Old
been,
English
I mean,
very
if you
Celtic.
think about all the people on Earth and you take literally, let's say 5% of all the people on Earth and not bias it, you would end up with 80% of them would be Chinese. So not 80%, I think it's 60%, but it would still be, a majority would be Chinese, because if you just take one out of every, let's say 100 people on the planet. So anyway, that's part of what this was all stuff that Brent and me and Donald on the show here. We've been like hashing through all of this, and writing it all out and everything like that. And so, but yeah, that's the idea. So it doesn't matter. It would be like they'd be speaking Chinese and she's speaking English, and they can't speak any English, much less 500-year-old English. So the plot is we realize that she's displaced in time.
Nice.
And since they can't communicate with home base while on the other side of the wall without going to a telephone booth effectively, they've got like 6 months before they'll be able to communicate with Starfleet Command, or whatever's the equivalent of Starfleet Command. And during that 6 months, we dole out one episode at a time the large arc story, so that by the time they can report back, the captain has a quandary as to whether they want to report her or not. And then we get a large arc problem going on, so I think that's like 9 episodes in, or so. So mid-season, so to speak, you find out what her real purpose is and stuff like that. So and then the captain decides whether she needs to keep the girl on the ship, or whether she needs to turn the girl over to the Unity and stuff. But it turns out, of course, the larger problem is bigger than the Unity. And so she'll need to, at some point, decide that it's a bad idea to turn it over to the Unity, because the Unity probably will mishandle it.
That's fair.
So that's part of this whole thing.
Short, long. There we
But
go.
that's where I am. And now I enjoy making maps. so it's
as
kind
long
of
as I've known you, that does not surprise me.
right. I mean, like I just enjoy making maps. So I'm actually not. I kind of got a little spun out. I was doing pages, and I'm up to page 5, and page 5 is done. And then I did the cover for this, and it's not ringing true. So I took a break real quick to ponder the cover. So that's where we are,
Nice.
and kind of why I'm over here making maps. Sometimes I just need to take a break and, just kind of back off for a minute or two. And
I get that.
Yeah.
I did that last night. I got home from work and I was like all gung ho, like all day. I'm like, I'm going to get back to work. I'm going to get all this stuff done tomorrow. I'm so excited. Like I got a lot done in the morning. And then like, as soon as I got home and as soon as I sat down, like at my desk, my body was just like, nope. I was like, oh, I'm tired.
I'm going to go to sleep now.
I was just like laying here. I'm like sitting in my chair, this chair right here. And I was just like, I just turned on a TV show and I was like, no, I'm just going to relax right now because my body's telling me I need to.
Right. I find making maps relaxing. So that's what I'm doing.
Well,
and
yeah, I'm on what?
All I think I'm weird.
You've watched me from like the beginning of this project. I'm on like, this would be
frame number 5 that you're on.
Of just this one. No, the other ones I've already done. This would be like, I'm gonna say there's 10 in here. I'm already at like 80 frames that I've drawn. So like this is gonna be 100 frames by hopefully tomorrow.
Right.
I'm just like the same thing over and over and over and over again.
Yep.
But it's fun.
The nature of animation.
I know.
I feel for you.
But I mean, good things are coming from it too, so I can't complain too much.
No. Yeah, no, I'm with you.
What are you? Oh, Bellatrix. There is a bug. It's gonna die.
One of the other things I do is I've got this random name generator.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to use it for names because it comes up with names that I would never come up with.
Nice.
Bonneterre Channel. That's just a cool name.
Bonneterre?
Yeah. I don't know.
I like it.
Right? That's what I was thinking. I'm like, I like it. I don't know what it means. I don't know. But I mean, it gives me some good names because I would come up with, Colton Channel and then Pepper Bay, and it would be like
Pepper Bay. I like
right.
Pepper
I can't come up with anything else. I don't know what the heck's going on. So,
I'm a fan of Pepper Bay.
Right? The Alligator River.
I mean, it's also like in comics though, like the naming of a lot of things in comics is just ridiculous.
Yeah. And
like,
I feel
look
like
at all like the bad guys and villains. It's literally like, oh, what's on their costume? Oh, you're Plus King. Yep.
Right.
Thank you. It's like, all right.
But I feel like that's kind of one of the, it doesn't seem to be very realistic to me. So I like to use the random generator because, I mean, I don't know what the story, and sometimes it actually prompts me to make a story. I was lying in bed, as all good ideas often come to me while I'm lying in bed trying desperately to go to sleep.
So you're a bed man, not a shower man. Got it.
Right. And so I was lying in bed and I suddenly realized, what about um, like landmarks. You know what I mean? Like we always talk about um, things like the Eiffel Tower and Brandenburg Gate and all of these things that we can think of all over the earth, the Great Wall of China. There's all these locations, and if you think in the scale of a galactic civilization, like there's always going to be sort of things. Everybody talks about it. I went to Paris the other day and saw the Eiffel Tower.
I'm the same way, Brent.
You know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I was like, crap, there's going to have to be that. So I found a random generator that just generated locations randomly. And so I captured some of them. And then I was like, oh, man, some of these have got some wicked stories in and of themselves, because it was a fantasy generator. So it was generating fantasy locations. Nice. So I manipulated it to make it a sci-fi instead of a fantasy location. So here, I'll find one for you because I wrote them all down. That's what this sketchbook's doing for me, is writing them all down, the modified versions of things.
It's a great notebook.
It is. So I now have a place called Tanar's Circle, and it's a long time ago. A young girl died at this location, and a giant tree grew where she fell, and around the tree they placed stones, which were guardians, sort of, just to guard her grave. And the tree's been cut down, but the stones remain. And now the Tanar Festival is held here every year. Nice. And it's like, just a little thing like that. Now, originally, of course, that story was about what's the nature wizards? Druids. It was a druid girl who died there. And when she died, the tree grew from her.
That makes sense too.
But it's fantasy. So I switched it to, it was just some girl, but
you went from fantasy to high fantasy. Got it.
Yeah. So I took it from high fantasy and moved it to a sci-fi. But moving it from a sci-fi, it could be just normal, like just some girl died here 250 years ago. Well, 250 years ago is the beginning of the United States, So, I mean, if you think about that, 270 years ago, there was no United States. So, we already have legends like Tombstone and like Deadwood. We already have legendary locations, from the 1800s. So, and that's only 100 and something years ago. So clearly something 200 years ago would be, well, we don't know what this girl's real story was now, but she died here and a tree grew. And so we put stones around it. And now we have a festival. We don't know why.
It works.
Do.
It's a festival. Nobody cares. They just want.
No one cares. We all go out and eat food. Who the hell cares?
Everybody's like, oh, we don't remember what this is for, but we're partying.
But now there's a place called Tanar's Circle. And it's a location, and people go there. Another one was a monastery that's built on the back of a turtle, was what it was that it located. So instead, I changed it to, they built this monastery on a mountain that they shaped like a turtle.
Okay.
So you walk up, and there's this massive turtle. It's like, 500 feet tall or whatever, something ridiculous. And on top of it is this old monastery, which people come to visit all the time. And everybody knows this place. Everybody knows this, kind of stuff. So, because I realize that that's something that's a grit that I don't see in a lot of sci-fi is
festivals.
It's 500 years from now, 600 years from now. We all talk about the Eiffel Tower. Even in Star Trek, they still talk about like the only landmarks in Star Trek are things like the Eiffel Tower and the Golden Gate Bridge. And I'm like, which is fine, but they'd have the pillars of Snurgleblatt somewhere, which everybody visits.
That's fair. I like Snurgleblatt.
So I've been thinking about that a lot.
I want to visit Snurgleblatt.
Right? Doesn't that sound like a great place? That's a good place. Anyway, I love random generators is what it boils down to. The TLDR on this
Hey, as long as they work, they work.
Right? The Red Canal. Ooh, that's a good name. I mean, it makes you kind of like, did people die here?
Is it like the Red Wedding?
Yeah, right?
Is that what happened here?
What happened here? What's going on?
Oh, that's way off.
Yeah, so I'm mapping is what I'm doing today. I am hating Photoshop is what I'm doing today.
Fair. Photoshop me have fights on occasion too.
Yeah, I'm getting aggravated. The new update that they did is just driving me crazy.
What'd they do? I haven't even used it yet since then. I've been using Clip.
They just made it so that if you save a file like this as a PSD, you have to click save as on the file. Then it brings up a dialog box which only allows you to save as a TIFF or a PSD. So then you have to save as a different format button at the bottom there to save as a JPEG. So like my comics, I save 3 different versions of each one of my comics. I save a PSD, then I save a JPEG for posting to Instagram, and then I save a PNG, which retains the alpha channel. And so because of that, I have to click twice for each one of those. And it's and of
That
course
sucks.
every one of those dialog boxes remembers the last place you were. So if you bring up the first one, it's in the folder. Right.
You like using Photoshop for text files, or?
So Photoshop's control over text is still far better than Clip Studio.
That's actually fair. I understand where.
And so if I'm doing a lot of text, as I am right now with this, I prefer to use Photoshop and then just argue with it. But they're making it, every iteration, every new update on Photoshop is making it one step more complicated. And in doing so,
oh wait, no, Clip Studio, all they did was you can now just upload your brushes from Photoshop into Clip. I forgot about that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, that is.
Well, that's the thing. Clip Studio, every iteration of Clip Studio is getting more useful to me. And every iteration of Photoshop is getting more irritating to me.
I mean, Photoshop is like it's what it is. It's a photo manipulation program. Is what it was originally meant for. And then illustrators and all that had fun with it and all that stuff. But and that's kind of where I like Clip for that. Is Clip is it's like we're an illustration program. You know, they blatantly say we're an illustration program. Photoshop is like, oh yeah, we're everything. I'm like, why? You know, like it's too much sometimes, but there's a lot of cool things that do come from it.
Like that's a glitch that has. That's the thing I really hated was like they haven't fixed glitches
every iteration. Hey, it's Brian.
Hey, Brian.
Every iteration of pen and paper stays the same. I mean, you're not wrong.
He's not wrong.
I feel like you're trying to tell me something.
I think he's trying to tell us something very important here. Like Harpool Rill.
Trying to tell me to go traditional, Brian? Is that what you're saying?
I would go traditional, but I actually like now what this 22E makes it do.
Oh.
I don't even know what a Harpool is, but it sounds cool.
A hard pool?
Harpool. Harpool. Harpool.
That's a good question.
Like the Sanguine River. That's cool. These all are, like, this makes for really cool names. Ugh, that glitch makes me mad too. So one of the glitches that Photoshop has had literally forever, and it
Uh-huh.
drives me bonkers, is that it when you hit rotate on the top for, you grab up there, it gives you the circle for rotate, the arrows that are turned sideways, and then you
Mhm.
click it and it instantly does scale instead. So you have to unclick it and then click it again to make it rotate.
Oh, for text files, yeah.
Yeah, for text. And it's a glitch they've had,
To go
I don't know,
forward, to go
since
backward.
like,
Oh yeah, because Brian, you started off in traditional. You started with digital and then went to traditional. I remember right?
well, Brian, the only problem I have with paper is I keep hitting Control Z and nothing happens. Somebody needs to update paper and pen so that Control Z works. I don't know. It's a bug. It's a glitch. I don't know what's going on. I'm just saying.
I don't know why I'm laughing so hard.
You're like, I don't know why that's so funny.
It was just, oh my god, it really is.
Hey, I'm not lying.
You're not. Cause it's funny. You remember Win, right?
Yep.
Win Green. I remember sitting there one day. We were all at like a Red Team Go meeting. We were just all sitting there drawing at the tables and whatnot. And then I start seeing him sit here and like tapping the table, like Control Z, Control Z. He's like, I'm on paper. God damn it. Like,
I
you see
have
that realization.
literally
He's like,
done
what
that.
am I doing?
Yeah, I know. We'll get you back though. We'll get you back. I'm very impressed with your progress.
His art. Wait, what happened to Brian?
He got COVID.
Oh, did that mess with your arm? Oh shit.
Yeah, it wiped out. It messed
Oh.
up his arm, and now his arms go numb whenever.
I did
he
not.
draws too long.
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
Shit. I remember he got it. I didn't remember that was the outcome of everything. Shit.
Yeah. Not cool. COVID's nothing to mess with.
Well, Brian, at least this though, at least you have the opportunity to still keep drawing.
Yep. Right. Could have been that 2%. We'd be sans of Brian right now. I'm much happier with this.
I'm much happier with this.
I mean, I hate to say that, but given a choice of the two,
I'm the same boat. If I had to, I'd be like, as long as I can still keep doing it, I'm happy.
yeah. I mean, it's like, oh, road names. Oh, yeah, that'd be cool too.
What?
Road names: Whisper Mountain Alley, Stepping Stone Route, Falcon Claw Alley, Sunset Passage. That one's kind of cool.
I like that one.
Yeah, I'll steal that one. I'm just reading through all of these. I'm like, oh, I'll steal that one. I'll steal that one. I'll steal that one.
In this field, we call it borrowing.
All right. This individual made this beautiful website that I have been using for a long time. She does a lot of stuff here, but it's fantasynamegenerators.com, and she has like 1,000 of them for everything.
Nice.
Like up there, it's got like at the top, it has fantasy and folklore, real names, places and locations, other names, pop culture.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like she's got like Marvel Comics generators.
Oh, there you go.
Generate celestials, or you can generate random Krees. I'm actually curious.
That's pretty cool.
So this is random Krees names: Azut, Beer
Azut.
Ret, yeah, Tobog Gorn. I mean, like these are just, and it makes sense. It does sound very much like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
She's got Star Trek races, so you can come up with an Andorian name. Sivan Cheharnar. Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah.
Andorians are a mess. But I mean, it's like, it's really cool. Honorifics. What is honorifics? Oh, your brilliance, high serenity, your excellence, commander, sire, primal one. So I mean, like, if you just need to come up with
one,
yeah, you need to come up with a name that, she does a good job too. Also, of like, some of her generators are just sounds that are mixed together in the correct way that sounds similar.
that you're able to hear it. Okay.
Yeah, so it comes out sounding legit, like a legit name. I
Uh-huh.
love this. I need a cove, or I don't know what do we call like coves and other things like coves. Pirate cove names. Pirate coves. Debris Isle. Full
Debris
Moon Haven. Davy Jones K. The Cavern.
Davy Jones Cave.
Right?
Okay, that sounds like that sounds like a porn.
Right? And some of these sound awesome. Retreat of the High Tide. I mean, some of these are good. Hideout of the Dead Kraken.
I like that one.
Dude!
I like that one.
I know, right? Like these, well, the best part about this is I totally get story ideas from this. You know, I'm like, oh, now I want to know what happened at the hideout of their dead Kraken. You know, now I got to write that story. You know,
Right.
I absolutely. Refuge of the Unnamed. Some of these are great. Let's see. Coral
F.
Reef
Jord names.
Cliff and Fjord.
Huh. What's an F Jord?
Digparg Bluffs.
What's an F Jord? Is that
Brent,
just another
Brent's
site?
saying use fjord names for the code.
fjord.
And I'm actually over here with Cliff and Fjord names because he's not wrong. Digpar Bluffs. That sounds pretty good for. I mean, because these are cloud. If you were thinking of cloud formations, like take the clouds and then freeze them, because of course the clouds in the galaxy move very, very slowly. So you'll have these dips and openings inside the clouds. And so like they'll name them because people will be flying through them a lot. So yeah, the Ancient Ravine, the Killer Whale Ravine.
The ancient. I like the Killer Whale.
Scarbald Cliffs. Oh man, that sounds good. Sedgewater Abyss.
I don't like that.
Oh, I like Sedgewater Abyss. In fact, I kind of like that enough. I'm going to put that for this large area right here. Because from the point of view of somebody entering it, you're entering the clouds and essentially just going into a hole. You know, from here, we look at this from a topographical point, but really, if you think about it 3D wise, there's clouds on the bottom and clouds on the top. So it's just a pit. And so, like, you want to enter at the Sedgewater Abyss and go along the Von Terre Channel, you know, to another location or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The hard part is from here on this map, the Pleiades is across stream.
They're crossing the streams?
They're crossing the streams.
Oh,
Didn't
no.
they tell us not to do that?
Yep.
But
That one person did in that one movie.
right, that one person in that one movie. The Unity is over here, and then over here is the Pleiades. So to get from the Unity to the Pleiades, you can't actually take any of these rivers. You have to cross across it. So it's a long haul to the Pleiades. You'll get like, I'm sure that people will have found passages that move kind of, you know, trying to maximize crossing the large open zones as much as possible.
Yeah.
Because they can at least get a day or two of fast travel before they have to slow back down again.
Everybody looks for a shortcut.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's obviously what's going to happen. Okay.
Did you just tell us the next chapter?
Next chapter of what?
Oh, that's obviously going to happen. They're going to look for a shortcut.
Oh, yeah. Well, they've been traveling this area for a very, very long time.
Like Lost in Space?
Yeah, I mean, they've been out here for a very, very long time. Like 500 years is a long time. But before that...
Okay, now that I mentioned that, question for you. Did you watch the new Lost in Space?
Yes. I've watched 2 seasons of it, 3 seasons.
Do you like it as much as
Yeah.
the old one? Okay. I was kind of curious if it actually like stayed true enough because I never actually watched the old one. I remember reading the comics, but I never actually got to actually.
The original Lost in Space was episodic. It was a contemporary of the original Star Trek.
Oh, okay.
So it's from that same era. It came out in 66
Mm-hmm.
and went until 69, I believe. So it's in the same era as Star Trek, the original series.
Okay.
But it was very much it was formulatic. Yeah, every episode we had the same sort of thing. So it would be the family is trying to figure out a way to fix the radio so they can communicate home. But first, a monster appears, and the robot tells them there's danger. And Dr. Smith says that it's bunk and that's not real. And then the monster really actually attacks. And then Dr. Smith runs for his life and doesn't help the family when the family needs to fight the monster. You know what I mean? It's like the same formula.
Same thing over and over again. Yeah. Okay, now I get that.
Whereas the new Lost in Space has got an ongoing thread. Things are really interesting. The story keeps evolving.
Yeah.
You know? They're not lost on the same planet. So
I enjoyed a little. Like I think I only watched the first season of the first one of the new one, and I enjoyed it. I just like, but it's also like I always like watching what they do with fantasy, like with sci-fi.
Yeah,
like how do they portray it nowadays? Since we have such amazing technology to do it, but also like they changed a lot of things too, like how the ship was built. How now they have like a rover. Now they have this, and they have like
they got a
more
rover
equipment here.
Yeah, they had the rover in Lost in Space, which actually got reused over and over and over in various other space shows through the 70s.
Really?
Yeah,
it the same exact rover.
Yeah, the same rover, and you can tell that they just took
Bob,
the antenna off and put a gun on or whatever. In fact, I think that the rover that they were building for Lost in Space ultimately ended up in the old original Battlestar Galactica.
That's awesome.
So, I mean, it was just a thing, but I mean, yeah.
That's a show you'll never find nowadays, and that kind of sucks.
The old Battlestar?
Yeah.
I love the old Battlestar.
I was trying to find it one day because everybody was like, "Oh, you got to watch the old one." I was like, "All right," and I went searching for like a day, and I was like, "I'm done. I'm not gonna find this thing anywhere."
Fair warning: when you watch it, don't watch Battlestar in 1980.
Why?
Battlestar Galactica 1980. Don't watch that.
Okay.
There's only one really good episode of Battlestar 1980. And the rest of it is like, what?
Nice.
So it's kind of a thing.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen the newer one. I haven't and it was really like, I think I saw some of the 80 one. That's why I wanted to rewatch it. I'm like, did I actually watch not the 80s, but like the old version? Because I was like, yeah, 70s. There we go. I was like, was it 70s? I can't remember.
It was the 70s.
Like, because I remember I've watched my grandmother. Every time we ever got dropped off at her house, we would all sit there and watch like old TV shows. Like we'd be watching like Hercules, Beastmaster, Star Trek, things like that.
I feel old when you say stuff like that, you know. Just
that's fair. You're not that much old. You're like a 10-year older than me.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you're like, watched ancient shows, you know, like Hercules and Xena. And I'm like,
wait till your son says that.
I know, right?
And you'd be like, okay, you're grounded for life.
Right? That's it. You're grounded. I'm 25. I don't care.
I don't care. You're going to your room. You don't even have room for me. You're going to the attic.
Have a room here.
You're Harry Potter now. You're going under the stairs.
Right. Yeah, that's about right. Gerard posted something that was like that, and I was like, Gerard.
Well, you guys are around the same age, aren't you?
Yeah, we're the same age,
Okay.
give or take. I mean, we're
Yeah, I
both
was like, I could have sworn like
Gen
you guys
Xers
were
and
like
stuff that.
you guys were literally like within like a year or two of each other, something like that.
Yeah, we're not that far apart.
No.
But yeah, it's the same. It's the same thing. He had posted something, and it was like, that's it. Shut up. And hand me my
Oh
cane
yeah,
so I
what
could
was it?
beat
What
you
does
with
his daughter say? Oh, it was like Scooby Doo or something like
Yeah,
that.
something.
It was
I
something
don't-
like I love Scrappy Doo, and he's like, what?
Right.
I remember it was
like,
something about Scooby Doo or
dude.
something. He's like, now I feel old. I was like,
Right.
it's just gonna happen every day for you from now on until they're finally like out of the house.
It was just really funny.
Which is funny when he said that because I remember it was something about Scooby Doo, and I was like, I haven't thought about Scooby Doo in God knows how long.
Pepper thinks about Scooby Doo a lot, but I think that's because it's in
Pepper draws Scooby Doo like
Yeah, it's in
daily.
Pepper's whatever however
pipeline.
you want to call it, his whatever his genre.
His genre.
Milieu. That's what I was looking for. The word was milieu.
You did what with a what?
Yeah, like
What's a million?
when you were asking about Lost in Space, I've seen Lost in Space because that's
Okay.
all in my milieu, right?
There we go. Okay, I'm on the same page now. I was like, what's a milieu? What are we trying to get at?
Right, his world.
His world. Yeah.
Yeah, Brent's right. His world. So I feel like Brian is saying that he's out. He was drawing for a while and now he's out. His shoulder popped in his arm.
Needs to take a break.
Which is okay. We'll still be here, Brian. We're still here. Yeah,
Hey,
so
I'm just saying though, Brian's a workhorse. He'll get it done.
yeah, he does, but that's one of the reasons why this is kind of aggravating is because he does, but now he can only work in 15-minute increments.
Yep.
And then, he's not out. He's like, nope. I'm still in.
I'm still going for the long haul. Getting started. All right. He just woke up. He's ready to go.
I will just delete this entire zone.
Let's use this one.
Oh, I don't have contiguous selected. Hey, select contiguous.
That works. Whatever. All right, we're done.
Big, huge bubble in the middle here, which isn't connected to the red canal at all.
But also, Brian's also quick too, which actually still kind of works out for him too if he ever has to take those breaks anyways.
Yeah, that's true.
Because he's able to knock out a whole bunch, take a break, and then keep going right back after like a little bit after his break and then keep going.
Yeah, easily one of the faster.
Oh yeah, it was actually. He's actually. I'm not gonna lie. Sitting next to him, working with him, made me want to get faster. Like I got faster because of that.
Yeah, I was thinking too.
Which is actually great because like now the field I'm trying to go into, that's all like majority of it. It's about speed.
Yep. And I may not have the speed anymore. I've been kind of thinking about that, and I've been thinking I may not be able to. Although I have been enjoying when we go and do things like we did with the
Rockies,
the ballpark.
Yep.
Because that does speed me up.
And that part, like right there, though, I also think it's the speed side of that also is finding out ways to do things that you want, but in a minimalistic way.
Yeah.
Because like you were also like nothing against like what you were doing or whatnot, but it was like you were doing the full color.
Well, I only did that at request. So.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were doing that with all of them. I was like, holy crap, guy, you're crazy.
No.
Like
it would have. So in the beginning, I was doing them all in black and white.
Yeah.
But then I fell so far behind Bob that I was like, screw it.
Yeah, I never try and keep up with Bob.
Right? I was like,
actually, here's the thing. I don't even know how close I was to Bob because I stopped counting. And that's my biggest problem is I always stop counting.
Yeah.
I know Bob was counting because as soon as he hit, what was it, 60? Because that's who's like, I'm doing 60. I was like,
he did 50.
Oh, sorry, 50. It was 50 in 2 hours. He did 50 sketches in 2 hours. It's like, God damn.
However, I did 25, and that's not
great.
bad.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean that's 12 an hour. That's still pretty good.
Right. But also I'm like, Bob always, I think, practices the speed side of it too. Like every time that's kind of like his forte is how quick can you push out a quick picture and hand it off, and everybody's like, oh my god, that was amazing. Oh, but he likes that quick feel good feeling, but that's also because he does like TikTok and Snapchat, things like that, where you only have like this amount of time to do a video.
Right.
How can I draw this really quick so everybody can see my whole process, see the colors, and be like, boom, there you go, entertainment. Bob's a great entertainer.
He is.
And that's kind of why, like, I was like, he's always perfect for one of those things. Shortcuts in art, those are who paint. He used to say all the time.
Brent paints.
You're not wrong. That is true, though. I've wanted to get into the mini painting and all that stuff, and I've seen some of the things people can do, and I'm like, that looks like so much fun, but I don't have as much time as I wish I did.
Right.
Sadly. What is No. Stop it. I don't know what's going on with that. We're just gonna keep that. That's fine.
Okay.
We'll close that. Sweet.
The Haunted Crevice. Not going to use that one.
Why? Hold up.
Yeah, like, no, really, this would be good. Use it.
I think you would get I think a lot of people want to visit that place. Hold on.
Right.
What makes it haunted? I want to know what makes it haunted.
That sounds bad.
I just want to know what makes it haunted. All right.
The Hopeless Canyon.
The Hope.
Oh. The
Poor
Screaming
canyon.
Fjord.
See, Brent likes Haunted Crevice too.
See.
You're missing out here.
The Fearsome Wall. The Rugged Canyon.
Fearsome Wall.
I'm feeling like that's not giving me as much stuff as I wanted out of it. Dating agency names. That's good. I
Dating agency names for when you're trying to look for a crevice.
Right.
Oh, that's awesome. All right. No, that looks good. All right.
Damn it. The Silent Wastes.
I like that one.
Yeah, I do too. It's this big open area, or not open, but clouded area, which is just all.
The Silent Waste.
Yeah. So I was like, that's good.
Perfect.
Yeah. I'll come up with crap for this.
Just crap. Oh, I need to go get more coffee.
Cool names that are just really weird crap. Like Sterile Savannah. That just sounds horrible.
How long are you going today?
Until we've got another hour.
We got another hour? I'm going to go get more coffee.
Go get more coffee. Grave Near Expanse. Ooh. I like that. Oh, I like that a lot. The Grave Near Expanse. Yep. My buddies like that temple too. Hillcore Reservoir. That's kind of cool. The Ugly Lake. Sunderton Lagoon. I like that. Sunderton Lagoon. That's a good name.
Sorry, were you talking to me?
No, I'm just kind of talking. Coming up with names. Sunderton Lagoon.
My body is like a temple, old, crumbling, and possibly haunted. Oh, that's funny.
It is stretch time. Why isn't my computer said something? Oh,
It's time to take it.
Oh, there it is.
there it is. Because like it alerts me that we're supposed to stand up. You just stood up, so you don't have to stand up.
Oh, all
Can't
that
stand up.
popping feels amazing though.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stand up and stretch. I seem to have pulled a muscle in my thigh yesterday walking.
Oh, yesterday walking.
Walking. Welcome to being almost 50. I'm like, I was just walking. And now my muscle hurts in my thigh from walking. And I'm like, all I did was walk. Doesn't even make sense.
Was it at least a sloped hill?
We started doing cherry pickers though. So that's the where you bend down and you try to touch each leg and then you go between the legs sort of thing.
Oh yeah.
And that's actually been really good for my back. Stretching my back
I do
out.
that every day.
Yeah, so we're gonna do that, add that to the routine.
My
I walk-
favorite one, I don't know if you do this, but
Oh man.
you lay down and you find like a hard surface, something that's heavy enough that holds you.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on.
Uh-oh. We lost him. They are non-shallows. I love these names. And that looks good.
Sorry about that.
You're back.
I use my phone as my camera, so when someone's calling me, I kind of have to like, oh, hold on, make sure it's important or not.
Right.
But what I was saying is like you lay on your back, you get like a table or whatnot, and you throw your leg over.
Yep.
And you hook your leg on there. It actually will stretch out all that. That's one of my favorite stretches.
You want to join us, you want to join us, Brian?
Brian, come join us.
If you've got a camera, I have a link.
And some
But
pencils
it's
and
Arn
learn.
and Shallows, apparently, is the link. I have to recopy the link. There you go. You can join us if you want. You can join us if you want, Brian. We're here.
You can dance if you wanna.
You can dance if you want to. You can leave your friends behind.
If your friends
Find
don't
where
dance, then they
I've
don't.
lost my
Then they're no friends of mine.
thing. There we go.
Oh,
All right.
that's probably why I'm using the wrong.
Flat Shallows. I like Flat Shallows. Midnight Lake, though, is cool.
Midnight Lake's pretty cool. I can
Yeah.
get behind that. Why is this nose not looking like a nose? Well, it is, but it looks like
Swamp names. The Pleasant Marsh. The Lily Pad Bog. Oh, Bucking Toe Labyrinth. That's actually.
I like that.
I'm gonna have to find something for that.
I can get behind that. That one sounds cool.
Yeah. Like this entire area could be that. I could add a whole bunch of like crap to make it like awesome looking. I don't know why I'm into crap today. It's a thing.
Hey, some people are into things. I'm just
You're just saying. You don't judge. You don't judge.
to each their own.
Right.
Isn't NDK coming up like here in like a week?
Yes.
Okay. I was just making sure. I was like, is it this week or is it next week? I can't remember. Are you guys doing tickets at the door? Day tickets?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
But bring a credit card because COVID makes things very complicated.
That's fine. I mean, we are in a credit society.
Yeah, but I mean, we can do cash, but it's a pain in the butt, and it's
Oh, I
not
know.
gonna be.
Oh, mine was more the like. It's kind of funny when everybody was like, "Oh, like during COVID, it's like, oh, we all have to go to a credit society." I'm like, okay, so we're already there. Like, it didn't really affect that many people when it was a cash based.
Right.
But for a credit society, I mean, we're fine. Like Japan, I feel totally bad for them because they're still cash based.
They're very cash based.
But also, like they like I feel like they adapted quicker than we ever would.
Maybe. I'm
Maybe.
still hearing not cool things from over there. Like,
Oh,
finally, my little attached family or whatever, they're finally all.
my attached family.
But I don't know what to call them. They're a family of people whom their daughter keeps coming over here and staying with us.
Yeah, I've been to a few
Randomly.
times.
I'm
She
not
came
sure
and
what
hung
to
out
call
with
them
us.
except my attached family.
Yeah. No, I met her dad and her, if I remember right. He's military, right? Or no?
No,
You always
may
have a guy that comes over, a family that always comes over and stays at your house for it, you guys.
Yeah,
You
that,
bring
no,
your
that's
daughter.
my best friend. That's my best friend and his daughter, which I consider my niece.
Yeah, because she always comes. Or is
Yeah.
there another girl that you're talking?
No, this is a different girl. I seem
Oh.
to like just gather people.
That's fair.
So, but yeah, no, she's actually Japanese,
Oh.
and she was one of my wife's students
Uh-huh.
when we were in Japan, and she was an English student of my wife, and my wife took her on, and when she was 2 years old, and when we came back here, my wife had been so embedded with that family, being there every weekend
Mm-hmm.
for like 4 hours on Saturday for 3 years or whatever, got to know the family really well. And I
Right.
even got to know the family really well. And so when we came back here, the dad asked if he could send the kid over here to hang with us for the summer.
Yeah.
And so she
Get
did.
to experience
yeah.
get to experience America for yeah.
And then that became sort of a routine.
Nice.
And it was every other summer for many years until COVID, when she
Right.
actually was going to come over here and join an American school and stay with us
Nice.
and
How
go to
old
high
is she
school
now?
here. She's 17, 16.
Oh, so
She was going to go
really
to an
close to
American.
graduation. Okay.
Yeah, she was going to go to an American school here, and we were going to just keep her in the basement, work to do when COVID hit.
Shit.
Yeah.
And it just stopped.
Yep. I'm adding Brian.
I see
We got
him.
Brian. Hey, Brian. I don't think he can hear us.
Maybe.
Maybe he
Can
can.
you hear me?
Now
Hey,
we can
there we
hear
go.
you.
What's up, Brian?
And not much.
Okay, he can hear us too.
I can hear him really well now.
That sucks though. So like literally you had 3 more weeks left to get everything all said and done.
Yep.
And
We've
then
been
literally they
working-
just close all their doors like, yeah, we're not talking anymore.
Yep,
Like, great.
That's exactly what happened. We had been working for about 6 months. We'd gotten
6
her
months.
all of her paperwork had been transferred over. We'd gotten all of her grades translated from Japanese into English. And I mean, we had gone through a ton of work.
That's
to
what I
get
would
her
say.
over
6 months worth of work just gone.
Gone.
Oh.
Just gone. And it was like, fine.
Like, all right, well, we'll revisit this another time, and I hope this 6 months worth of paperwork still stays.
And we'll have to go through, well, some of it will, but I mean, like, she's been through 2 more years of school, so we'll have to retranslate that. She
I
looks
mean, also
different.
by that point, though, like she's already technically in her senior year right now, isn't she?
Well, she's 16, so she's in first year.
Oh, she's 16 now. Oh, okay. Oh, sorry, I thought you meant she was 16 at the time.
Well, I guess she's 17 now, but still, that's still second year. Yeah, by the time this
That's only
happens,
second year?
she will have cleared. Yeah, second grade, high school, second grade, first grade, high school. No, it's first grade high school. So she's in first grade high school.
So she's a freshman?
She'd be a
How
sophomore.
does high school work in Japan?
So it's grades 1 through 6,
Yeah.
then it's 1 through 3, then it's 1 through 3.
Oh, they do 3 years of middle. Oh, they do 3 and 3. Oh, okay,
Mhm.
okay.
And so if you talk to people who've been in the school, like I'll talk about my first years versus my third years.
right,
And since I was a junior high teacher, that means 7th, 8th, and 9th grade here.
right.
And you
And
just have
isn't-
to do the
I thought
mental
here was
math.
9th through 12th still, unless they
Right.
changed.
Ours are all screwed up, but theirs are going to be the
Ours is
10th,
all
11th,
screwed
and 12th.
Right.
Well, I mean, because like it's just I don't even understand. I mean,
Mhm.
my kid is at my middle school, which used to be my junior high, but he's a 6th grader.
Wait,
And
what?
so my brain
6th
doesn't
grade's
like,
now middle school?
yeah, 6th grade's now middle school. Like I said, we've screwed it up.
That's messed up. Because I remember it was 1 through 6. Then you had 7th and 8th was middle school. And then 9th through 12th was high school.
Right. That's the way it was.
Unless
So,
you go to unless you went to my
when
charter
I
school
was
and all
there-
the whole campus was 1 through 12.
Right.
But they
When I
split
was
us all up in
there,
buildings.
It was 1 through 6 was elementary, and 7th, 8th, and 9th were junior high, and then 10th, 11th, and 12th were high school. The same as Japan.
Mm.
But as I was entering 9th grade, they switched 9th over and put it into high school. So I closed out 8th grade thinking I had one more year at that school and started 9th grade at the high school. And I was like, well, that's a thing. You
That's
know?
fair. Yeah.
So it was
weird.
literally the year that I switched from 8th to 9th grade.
Right.
I thought I was still going to be in junior high for one more year. And instead I got bumped up to high school.
Okay.
So
So she would be 10th grade then.
yeah, so she's 10th grade
Okay.
or first year.
17.
This conversation makes my brain hurt.
Right. Well, we are talking about Japan, and like everything is so. Anyway, she's also in a weird school that's like halfway across Tokyo or something. I don't know, but like she gets up at now 5:30 in the morning to get on the train, and I'm like, okay,
That's disgusting.
right. I'm like, so she actually is kind
It's
of
coming from the guy that wakes
Tokyo.
up at 9 and every time you text me, he's like, "Hey, you joining us tonight?" I was like, "I just woke up. Give me 5
I
minutes."
just woke up. I hate life. Yeah.
I hate life.
Well, it's true.
I just woke up. I hate life.
Okay, we need to go back to Rivers.
Mine's also more just because I work later. So
Right. Go back to river names. River names.
guy, our videos make it really look like we're working next door to each other.
It really does. Look,
eh.
you sit there. The hard part's like messing with Brian now is difficult.
I know his hand could squish us.
His hand's like huge. I'm squishing your head. I'm squishing your head.
I'm squeezing your head. I'm squeezing your head.
Brian became the villain of the story.
Ooh, Galantawa stream. I like that.
The what?
Galantawa stream.
What's a Galantawa?
I don't know.
Oh.
No, that's Labyrinth. I wanted the stream. Oh, because you copied everything. Stupid machine. Don't copy everything. That's silly.
Wants all the information.
I'm currently looking up David Bowie costumes.
Nice. He had very good costumes. What are you working on that needs a David Bowie costume?
So, have I ever talked to you about the my one of my Starfinder characters that was a part of a pop idol duo called Candy Nightmare?
Oh, yeah. I like that. Candy Nightmare.
Vaguely familiar.
I should make a group called Candy Nightmare.
Candy Nightmare. It sounds like a
So
good
my-
band.
So I've been doing a lot of my one character's designs based on old like David Bowie costumes because I figured that the bright and colorfulness of his costumes would fit a idol duo called Candy Nightmare.
Nice. I like it. I like this
I do
idea.
too. That's a good name. I like Candy Nightmare. And then Bayway Stream.
You did what with your stream?
Your what hurts?
Exactly.
Boyston Canal. I don't even know what that means, but it's cool.
Yeah. Beep, beep. God, that hand looks weird. I hate it. Fix it. Use draw fingers. Maybe. This might not fix it.
All right.
Yeah, whatever. We're just gonna keep that.
I feel like we've done enough damage here at 30 parsecs, so we'll flatten this out.
Just at 30, we did enough damage.
Just at 30. Plus 40 is where everything is, or all of my stars and stuff like that. So I've got to make sure I check my math and things. Yeah, because 40 parsecs is the bottom of the map. So we get to put the grid in for this. And bring that opacity down, make it multiply. Now we talk about the actual wall exclusion zone, which lives out here.
That's right, I forgot.
And now we move in to do the political lines.
Galaxies have political lines?
Mm-hmm.
Like Republican and Democrat?
Yes, that's exactly what it is. For those who are not screwing around, political borders are things like the border of two states or the border of two countries. They're not actually on a map. They wouldn't be like, I mean, sometimes they're rivers and sometimes they're,
Like
but
Texas
a
and
lot of
Dallas.
times it's just some place that they wrote and said, that's it. This is the end of Colorado. Colorado is a great example of this because our political borders for the state are just literally 4 points
We're in a box.
because we're square.
Because we're square.
But like, you know, Kansas is bordered by a river. So it's square up until the river, at which time it starts to become all like weird looking and stuff.
True.
So political borders are arbitrary spots in space, or in this case in space, where we have sort of this line. Boo, Kansas is Brent.
Boo, Kansas.
I can't help you, bro.
I'm sorry. Nothing we can do.
There's no saving you. You'll
Boo,
come back one day.
Kansas, isn't that where all the ghosts are?
Yeah. Kansas ghosts. Kansasian ghosts.
Kansasians.
I don't know what a Kansasian is, but I'm sure
he's
it's
like,
cool.
I'm on lunch and I'm getting harassed. What the
I
fuck?
Poor Brent.
You'll come back to Colorado someday, Brent. It's fine.
Brent's pretty tolerant of us being this way. I mean, like, you know.
Okay, let me switch. Are you still up north, Brian?
Yeah, I'm up in Firestone.
You're still up that way. Nice.
Where are you at? Are you still in Colorado? Or are you...
I am. I'm in Montbello now.
You're in Montbello. I'm sorry.
I hang out with all the kingpins,
I was
gang
saying,
leaders.
This is a wonderful place for you to be.
I know. If anybody knows, Kansas is so bad that Capitol Zero. That's actually pretty good. I like that one.
Okay, that has to be like one of the coolest random things that I have heard in a very, very
I
long
like
time.
it though. Oh
That's
my God.
beautiful.
Kansas is so bad. Its capital zip code starts in 666.
That's beautiful.
That's fantastic.
That is a thing of beauty.
But it's also funny though, like living in this area though, everybody's like, "Oh, you're in the hood, you're in the ghetto." I'm like, Colorado's never actually had a ghetto.
My wife reminds me of that all the time because she grew up in East LA.
Yeah, and
And
that's the
she's
part
like-
that I always laugh about too. I've walked
But
through those streets, and those streets are scary. I never
Right,
felt terrified in my life, except for
I
when I went
grew
there.
up here in Arvada, right?
Uh-huh.
So, like, what do I know from East LA? So I'm like, no, it's a terrifying neighborhood. Somebody died there in like 1972. And my wife's like, uh-huh. Because, like, they moved from East LA after their house got strafed in a drive-by,
Yep.
right? I mean, like, so it's like, okay,
But don't get me
that's
wrong.
fair.
We do have that. We've had that happen here a few times. Don't get me wrong, but nothing like LA specifically. Like that. That's like a weekly occurrence.
Right.
People are sitting there looking at their houses, pointing out, "Oh, this was Monday. This bullet hole was Tuesday.
Right.
I just patched this one yesterday, but someone decided to come by and put it back in."
Right. Obviously offended somebody, so I just have to do it again.
Like it's different. It's totally different. Because I've had friends that lived here, and there's a lot of stories that they've told me that happened. I'm like, holy shit! Like, you've seen some shit, you know?
Right.
Where like the closest thing I got for here is like either one, we just never got caught.
So every time I make a joke if like when my roommates bought this place, I was like, "Oh, cool! Did you guys find the dead bodies hiding in the wall?" And they're like, "Wait, what?" I was like, "Did you find them out like the all the cocaine under the floorboards? Like, what'd you guys get in the house? Let me know. Come on, give me something." And they just kind of look at me. I'm like, "You're in Montbello. This is like where all the kingpins and all that lived back when we were actually considered rough tough."
Right.
Now Colorado's just all genderfied.
Did you just say genderfied? Because that's kind of a
Gentrified.
cool
Gentrified.
variation on the word there, I think.
I always say genderfied, and I always forget it's gentrified.
Yeah, gentrified. And there's a tra, so it's
Tra.
gentrified.
Gentrified.
But genderfied is kind of a twist.
Kind of true though.
Somewhat true.
All the white
not
people
gonna
move
lie.
in, and everybody's like, "Well, there goes the neighborhood."
Yeah.
And that's what there was a guy I worked with who grew up here in Montbello, and he was telling me a story of like when this place finally got gentrified. He was like, "Yeah, no, I was sitting on my front porch, like just hanging out with my dogs and waiting for my mom to like come out of the house very quick. And I looked up, and there's these two older white couple walking down the street with like little Pomeranians and wine glasses, walking around like it's freaking Highlands." And I was like, "What the fuck?" He's like, "In Montbello?" He's like, "I know." It threw me off too.
It's funny.
I was like, "Wow, all right. Well, that definitely there goes the neighborhood."
There goes the planet. It looks like space bars.
Space bars. But yeah, I was like, when he told me that, I was like, "Damn, I didn't even think that was ever going to happen." Then I moved here, and I was like, "Yep, I see what he's talking about." It's a little weird.
I'm having a hard time seeing where these holes are coming through.
Oh, you want my glasses?
Yes, please.
Here you go.
See, this is what's bothering me. I'm not sure that I'm doing the right thing.
Yeah, whatever. That's good enough. I don't care.
All right. This would be easier for me to
Are you going to any other conventions this year, or is it just NDK for you, guy?
I don't know if they're doing the Wicked West Con. I'm not sure.
Because I know the week after is Colorado Horror Festival.
Yeah, I don't usually. Well, I'm not a horror guy, so I mean that's more like Brian's department and stuff.
Sure. Are you going to any, Brian, or no?
He has to now go turn his mic on.
Not right now, no. Only because I am scared if I have another go round with COVID, I might not live through it.
Yep.
That's a very valid reason.
I'm not gonna naysay that. Brent's gonna go to Hexacon. I'll probably be at Hexacon.
Which
I'll
one's
be tabling at
Hexacon?
Hexacon.
Isn't that the Tabletop Con?
Yeah.
Where's that one located again?
I think this year it's going to be at the Marriott that's up at 120th and I-25.
Oh, the castle-looking one?
Mm-hmm. Not,
Okay.
well, the one next to the castle-looking one, yes, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, right next door. Got it.
Yeah.
Who the hell's... Oh.
So that should be kind of cool. I had speed zones in here, but now I'm not taking them to speed zones anymore because I like the idea of using names, river names, and stuff like that for this.
But I did have a name for these guys, and I probably should continue using that name. So.
So yeah, I wanted to do the horror con, but I'm gonna wait.
That's fair. There will be another year.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, that's my thought. There will be another year, and you might as well take care of yourself. And they're all. If you don't, then there won't be another year. So I'm kind of on board with what you're saying there. I've got nothing against that at all. It is kind of a bummer though, because I keep thinking that Kofo or whatever is totally your place, Brian. Absolutely your place.
It is, and I want to have some comics ready for it as well.
I think so too. I think that Dan would be more than happy to have you table there and stuff. I think he'd think that was awesome.
Pretty much, I'm just gonna go for a day and then leave when I'm ready. I did not
Sounds
table
fair.
this year at all because I was like, I do not want to get locked somewhere if I walk in the door and be like, no, I don't feel like being here today.
Yeah.
Because I have that moment still, even to the day. Like I'll be walking the streets, whatnot, mask and everything, but like I'll be walking around doing my thing, and I'm just like, yeah, no, I'm going home.
Yeah.
I'm not feeling people right now.
Well, and that's another real thing. I mean, we've been isolated for so long. It's hard.
I have recently started walking with my friends.
Mm-hmm.
And like I'm going out and walking around with my buddy after this is over, and we've been walking around the park, and I can do 3 laps around the park. It's not even a very large lap, but I've been sitting for a year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've effectively sat here for 1 whole year. So, real things we need to talk about is the fact that muscles have atrophied. Things have gone kind of south. So another friend of mine's like, we can walk around Lake Arbor, and I'm like, God, that's like a half a mile. I don't know if I can do a half a mile yet. And he's like, that's cool. We can walk just a little ways or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like legit. I'm not sure I can make it all the way around the lake. And I used to walk that lake when I was a kid. So, I mean, it's not like I don't know that lake really well, but
Mm-hmm.
right now I'm barely making the walk in the park. It's like,
Right.
It's like, so there's legit like things that I don't doubt.
I don't blame you at all.
Mine's not, I guess, not the isolation side of it. It's I just don't trust a lot of people anymore.
Right.
Like beforehand, I was just like, all right, cool, whatever. People are dicks, whatever. But now I'm just like, no, I don't want to deal with you today.
Right.
I'm walking away. You want to sit here and start yelling at people because someone's wearing a mask or someone's like vaccinated or whatnot? All right, cool, but get the fuck out of my face.
Yeah.
Like go preach that in your own house.
Yeah, that's the part that bothers me is that I actually had a friend unfriend me today.
Really?
Uh-huh. One of my dad's coworkers.
No. Yep.
And she had posted something that I actually
there's a bot out there that's doing the, I'm a nurse and I've been a nurse for 50 years and now I'm getting fired because I'm vaccinated. No, I won't vaccinate. And
Mhm.
but it's the exact same. It's
Which
like
is funny because even
50
when I
of
was
them,
at
they're all
the
identical.
yeah, I mean when I worked at a hospital, because I used to work at National Jewish, they literally said we can fire you for not taking a flu shot. You sign this contract when you get hired on, you have to have the flu shot every year,
Right?
and it's free.
right.
So I was like, okay, cool. I signed the paperwork every year that we walked in the doors. I think it was like November. They had all the flu shots sitting there. They're like, all right, guys, line up. Pop, 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 pop. Just stabbed all of us.
Right.
That's my check. All the hospitals are the same. You got to be updated on all your records.
Yeah.
Before you can work there.
And that's a thing. I mean, well, and it's my whole thing is that it's obviously a bot. The
Oh, no,
words
yeah, it's
are
totally
the
a bot.
Same thing. And I told her that, and she's like, "It doesn't matter. This is what I believe, and you can go. Why do you have to get onto my channel? And this is where I can talk." And and so she did.
I get this is where you can talk, but also don't be spouting off shit. That's not true.
Right. It's like, okay, but
You understand that that's a bot trying to make you mad, right?
That's a bot trying to make you think whatever you want, whatever it wants you to.
yeah, I mean that's the part that makes me mad is that they're being, they're like, well, I agree with the bot. I'm like,
That
okay, but
doesn't
it's not a
help your
real
statement,
thing.
man. You're not helping yourself.
I also feel like we're kind of living in that realm that George Carlin would joke about, where it's like, give this guy that wears a tinfoil hat a microphone and let him talk because this is entertainment.
Right.
I feel like we're living in those times now where everybody has a microphone, including the crazy people.
And they think they're
And
entertaining.
it's no longer entertaining.
Right. Well, that's my problem is it's not funny anymore. Yeah.
Yeah. People. Oh, it looks better.
Especially since she just unfriended me.
Literally for just telling her it was a bot. And then she was like, well, I agree with it. And I'm like, wait. So, and she said, and every doctor I've ever talked to has agreed with it too. And I'm like, wait a minute, you have doctors who are literally getting fired for not taking the COVID vaccine? Because I haven't heard of that.
Yeah.
And then she's like, look, just go deal with your own thing, and then unfriended me. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, they're choosing what they want to believe.
Yeah,
To
they
validate
want to
their.
believe
But
this.
also, like that's the same concept right now that everybody's. I'm waiting for this to blow up now here, if like this week, the whole Pfizer vaccine being actually FDA
Actually approved. Yeah.
and now I'm like, well, this is gonna be fun here in a week.
Yeah, it's not even experimental anymore. It's actually legit approved. And it's like, well, okay, but
I'm waiting to see what everybody has to say about it. I was like, oh no, that's a lie. The FDA is just pushing it through so they can actually finally get us vaccinated. I'm like, oh, I know that's what you're thinking, but that's not true.
Yeah, I mean, the whole complaint was that the FDA had not approved it. And now that the FDA has approved it, it's going to end up being, well, the government is, I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
and it's weird because I'm having this same discussion with a friend of mine who is in Australia.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got these videos where
apparently there's a directive coming through the farms to destroy your farm. So that they can, and of course, the thought process that they've got is the government's trying to make a food shortage. And I'm like, never attribute to malice that which can be easily explained by stupidity. It's entirely plausible that what's really happening is somebody said,
oh no, farms generate CO2. We should do something about that. And somebody else said, okay, we will send a directive to destroy this farm or whatever. You know what I mean?
Right.
And by the time it gets down to the actual farms, it's burn your farms to the ground. And
like, but in the beginning, it was we've got to cut down the CO2 emissions from, beans or something.
and how do we do that? Well, we could burn 20 farms. That would work, or whatever.
Just stop a farm for like
Yeah,
20
stop
farms
having
for
somebody-
bean production.
Have somebody not farm for 2 years, and that could cut us down 50%. And the problem is that everybody's doing the government's trying to control us. I'm like, you know what? I've thought about this. Name any time that the government has maliciously taken over an entire state and subjugated the people
In America?
in America or Australia or UK or Japan or
I mean,
any
we have
place that's-
segregated people before, but that was during World War II.
But I mean, I'm talking about, like where the government has done effectively what they did to the Indians.
Yeah. Well, we did it with the Indians. We did it with the Japanese, Asians,
Sure.
because we did it all. But I mean, we've done it
But
twice.
I mean,
at least I can
overstep,
recall.
and it's still holding today. It has to overstep and still be going on right now.
Right.
As opposed to things like how many times has a company done the math to figure out whether they can, how many people can die before they lose money on this obviously not safe procedure. I mean, the Pinto is a great example. Ford, the Pinto.
Ford Pinto. Got
Yeah,
it.
the Ford Pinto. That's a great example of it, where Ford said, well, it'll cost us $40 billion or whatever to fix the Pinto, and it only costs us $3 billion to be sued for all the people who were killed. So we won't fix the Pinto. I mean, like, that's happened over and over and over.
For years.
Yeah, I mean, and so the people who are afraid of government, I don't blame them for wanting to keep the government in check. That's totally fair. But
Well, it's
clear
also,
and
I think
present
for
danger is
them also, I think
companies.
they think companies are one of them.
yeah,
Because it's ran by a person.
right,
And they
as
think
opposed to
of the government
which they
as
seem
an
to-
entity, which I get that part too. They are people as well, but like
Well, that's
There's
the
a lot
thing.
more
My
that a lot of
sister
people
is
don't
a
understand.
government employee, and
Oh, is she?
so my sister is a government employee.
so, I mean, like,
nice. I
totally
got plenty of friends that are government employees too.
right. It's run by people. I mean, the
Your
whole
sister-
government's run by people. And though I'm going to say the 535 people who actually run the government, Congress, the House, and the president,
Mm-hmm.
probably not the most stellar examples of human beings. And I'm okay with that.
I mean, really, the only thing I would love to see right now within government is changing everybody's role. Not everybody's role, but giving them an actual, like, hey, you only have 5 to 10 years to be in this position, and then you're gone.
Yeah.
Because
Term
there's
limits would be
senators that have
great.
been there for years and decades, and I'm like, you need new people constantly coming in all the
Yeah.
time.
I don't have
And
a problem
by
with
doing
term
that,
limits.
you're also creating jobs for the younger people. But the older people, like, hey, I get it, but you now have senator on your resume. You can go do something else, and you're not stuck in you're not graying by the time you're 30.
Right.
Because that's a stressful job.
Yeah.
Name any president that walked in with actually colored hair at the time, and as soon as they walked out, they were gray.
It's gray. Yeah. Their hair turns gray.
And that's only in what, 2 to 4 years? 4 years. They're full gone gray. They're like, yeah, we have no color in our. Yep.
Yeah, it's gone. We're super
It's gone.
stressed, which
Well, I mean,
that's cool.
Trump managed to make it through with his hair still normal.
Oh, Brian, you're too.
Trump
you're
doesn't
too-
have hair. His is a toupee. We've seen it flap in the wind.
All it is you pay flapping in the wind.
It's hell to pay.
Hell,
I'm having a hard time hearing Brian. You've
He's
got
had hell
headphones
toupee.
on. I don't wear headphones.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, I do that so people.
I'm
in the
just
other
saying you
room
can
don't.
hear Brian better than me. I don't wear headphones.
That's fair.
I have
My
psoriasis
problem is
inside my ear.
my headphones have died.
Oh,
so
gotcha.
I have to have speakers to listen to, and I'm having to use a mic off my camera. And it's like totally the worst setup ever, and I keep having to mute myself so I can't join in on conversations so you guys don't get the echo. Yeah,
I follow.
I actually do the same thing because I've got psoriasis in my ear canals, and so headphones ultimately start to itch.
You have
No
what
matter
in your
what.
ear canals?
Psoriasis.
Oh, psoriasis.
You know
Okay.
that hardening of the skin stuff?
Yeah, I think
Some
it's
people have.
paralysis. I'm like, what?
I have paralysis in my ears. What'd you say?
Paralysis.
I can't hear you. I have paralysis in my ears.
Yeah, that's what I was like, what? Hold on.
but because I have that, I can't wear headphones for very long before my ears start to itch really bad. And it
Right.
starts to really drive me crazy. So it's kind of that's why I don't but instead I put this really nice microphone here, and then even though you guys are on speakers, Restream seems to do a good job of canceling.
Yeah, apparently. I never heard myself on your side.
Yep. But you guys are on a speaker.
The mic I have would pick up everything that would come through. That's why I'm like, headphones.
I like Monkina. I like that name.
Like I was sitting there talking with, oh no, that was you. I was here one day with you, and we had construction guys downstairs, and you said I could hear a whole conversation going on, like very
Right.
vaguely. But I was like, damn, that's all the way down the hall, down 2 flights of stairs. I'm like, damn, this mic picks up everything. Or my house is just super echoey. I don't know.
Yeah, but it wasn't like distracting. I could tell that there were people there.
Right. But I mean, also when I first bought this at the old house, and that was even farther away from people, because I was all the way in the basement, in like the farthest corner, away from the stairs, away from any entrance, whatever. And some friends of mine would be on Discord with me or whatnot and would hear people around, like upstairs on occasion, like, is there someone else in the room with you? I'm like, what do you mean? Like, sounds like someone's playing. I'm like, oh, yeah, it's the roommate upstairs playing Counter-Strike or something, Overwatch. And I was like, okay, I can kind of hear their call outs. I'm like, yeah, it's fine. But it was like a very, very subtle. They could barely hear it. It was like you could really quiet. But you could hear it if everything went quiet.
Right.
And we weren't talking or doing anything. You would just hear he's like that whole like you're in the room by yourself and you're just like, is someone talking to me? Like, what the fuck?
Right.
And of course, in my fashion, I'd be like, I don't know what you're talking about. Who are you talking to? I think you're going crazy. You might want to get that checked.
Plebeian transfer.
What'd you call me?
I called you a plebeian.
A plebeian?
To make sure I spell
Well,
it
since
right.
I didn't make it Friday, what were your goals this week, Guy?
I wanted to go on ahead and wrap up at least a couple more pages, so I'd be on page 6 by the end of the week. Because then that way I've got the first 6 pages. I'll be 60% done with this first story.
Right.
And that'd be great. It's a shakedown story, so it's part of the canon of the story, if you will, but it's not something I will release out there. You know, it'd be like for patrons or whatever.
Right.
Mostly because I'm shaking down the system pretty good, because like I've got to still make sure I've got all of my 3D models, and you know I do a lot of stuff in 3D for my comic.
Like
well, thank you. And so I've got a lot of I had to shake it down. So that's the whole point. So this is a shakedown story, but
Guy
I'm
bringing
coming up
on
on
the
IndieK.
shakedown.
Yeah, I'm coming up on IndieK, and so I've got
yeah, I was wondering with how busy you might be right now with that too. So
I'm being conscientious that there will be some slowdown to my process
oh yeah.
as time goes on. So
Oh, definitely after this. Like, I mean, also after this weekend, you'll be fine.
yeah. Well, it's next week. It's not this weekend. It's the following weekend. It's Labor Day weekend.
Oh yeah, next week is the 1st. Oh, okay, we're literally a week away from September.
Well, we're 2 weeks away from September because it's the
Or
first.
a week
It's,
and a
it's
half.
the because I think that NDK is the
Well-
31st, the 1st, and the 2nd this year.
31st, the 1st, and the 2nd
I will double check.
of September.
Yep. So, well, nope.
That's
You're right. You're right. It's
That's
the
that's
3rd,
Tuesday,
the
Wednesday,
4th, and the
Thursday.
5th.
Okay, 3rd,
Third,
4th,
the
and
4th,
5th.
and the 5th.
Got it. Okay, that's how I was like. When did you guys go for a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday? That's new.
No. It's I move in on Tuesday. Move into the hotel. I move into the Gaylord on Tuesday. So next week there won't be any
I had
shows.
so many jokes
from-
just run through my head. I'm just not going to say them.
Oh man, that's why I usually I don't move in until Wednesday night.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing something with my kid.
Yeah.
And so, but this time I'm like, my kid's old enough now. He's got his own phone.
Guys
So,
over here, he's like, I'm going
I'm
on
like,
vacation.
I'm going to the Gaylord, man. I can sit by the pool, kick back on Tuesday night.
That's
it won't
fair.
happen that way, but I always think it will. In my head, that's what happens.
You hope that's what happens,
Right? Because
Like,
what really
oh,
occurs is that I end up going there and then working, and then we have to organize this. Then, oh no, if we don't fix this problem in the next 30 minutes, then it will be broken when the con starts, and
we're all gonna die. Yeah,
everybody's gonna die.
everything's gonna be a failure.
I always think that, it's gonna be. I always hope, but it never really is.
Oh, I
So,
know.
it's one of those things.
I've slowed down so much.
I know.
You'll get
But you're
there.
you're back at it, and that's the important part.
I only got this page sketched.
in an hour. That's still not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it hurts though.
Yeah.
Like now I pay for it if I try to speed through things.
Right.
Yeah. You'll get back to it. It just takes healing takes time.
Aggravating.
Like I have a coworker right now who injured himself pretty bad. Not on the job, but and he still can't lift over 40 pounds. Once he
Wow.
grabs 40 pounds, like his whole body he gets a whole shiver up his spine and everything. He's like, yep, can't do it. Pretty much what happened for him is though he broke his back.
Right.
So
That's
he
a
can't
no-go
do
thing,
much.
too.
Like when he says it hurts, it hurts. He feels it all the way. And that's why I keep asking him like every week, I'm like, how you feeling? Have you tried picking up another box again? He's like, yeah, I gave it a shot just to see if I can get back to work or whatnot, because I'm getting really bored. Like doing everything that they want, like what he does at the station right now.
Right.
And yeah, he literally he's like every week he's just like, man, I grabbed a box and it hurts. It hurts like that. And I'm like, damn, I'm so sorry, man.
Right.
Feel for you. But I've been asking him for like 4 weeks now. And every time it's about the same thing. It's like, no, I was good yesterday. And then I grabbed a 40-pound box and just tweaked just right. And everything started hurting again. And I can still slightly feel like the ghost pain. I'm like, wow, yeah, I wouldn't go back to work yet.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like I totally get that. My dad broke his back twice.
Oof, twice.
Yeah. Once in the army, he jumped out of a perfectly good airplane. But it was back in back in the Vietnam era, and he had a World War II parachute, so it had no controls.
Yep.
So he
It
couldn't
was just
control his
drop you
descent.
and have fun.
Right.
Hopefully you
So
land where you're supposed to go. Yeah.
the chute deployed, but he ended up landing on the runway.
Uh-huh.
So he couldn't soft land like he was working on trying to do.
Oh.
So instead, he just broke his back and ended
Ouch.
up in the hospital for 6 months.
That sucks.
Then later, when we were around, because this, when he was in the army, it was before my sister and I were around, before he was married, and before,
Still
but then
reckless.
I remember it was in the mid 80s, late 80s. he was riding a horse and the horse balked and threw him, and he ended up sideways on a tree trunk.
Okay.
So, he did the whap thing where, hit the tree and smacked, his head went one way and his legs went the other way around the tree.
Uh-huh.
That broke his back there. So he ended up in the
Jeez.
hospital again. So
Your poor father.
I know, right? He just couldn't catch a break on that.
Well, he did catch a break. He got it twice.
Yep.
So that's all right. And boy, that he paid for that in his later years.
Oh, I bet.
It was.
That's why, I thought about that one day, because I used to be kind of reckless in doing stuff and all that. Now I'm kind of I'm hesitant on doing a lot of things. I'm I still want to do stuff when I'm older.
Well, that's that. I'm paying for martial arts. In my
that one I'm waiting for to start feeling.
my martial arts. I did all of the. Hey, Colton, let me show you this cool thing I just learned.
Yeah.
That was not cool. So
Yeah, I'm kind of in that same boat. I want to go back into it too. That's not even the worst part.
oh yeah, I'm back into it.
I want it so
Swords.
bad just to practice or just to go do
Just
something physical again that I actually enjoy and it's not just work.
Right. Well, and that's the thing is I'm back into it too, but
Mhm.
it's I won't do the actual what was I trying to say? I can't do hand to hand right now, so I'm just doing sword
Right.
and bow. But
Oh
I
yeah,
can't
you're just doing the weapons training.
do weapons because I can't do hand to hand anymore. That's just
Right.
beyond my capabilities
That's fair.
at this moment. So
No, I miss my dojo. I wish they never went under. He was such a cool dude.
yeah, I miss my dojo from Japan, my judo dojo.
See,
that's
that's
an
that's
era
worth
that
it.
will never happen again for me, and that's sad.
Never.
Yeah, because my sensei passed away.
That's where you're going with that. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'll never be able to reproduce that time sitting in the dojo and drinking tea with my sensei and all of us in a circle and him telling weird stories about buses falling off the side of mountains. Apparently he went to Taiwan or something, and
Oh, okay.
They
I
were
was like,
in-
what? Was he up in literally
he
the
was
mountain
taking
area?
one of those tour buses, and the buses were driving along, and he was like, there were no guardrails, and we were just on the edge, and I could look down the side of the mountain, and he was going on and on and on. I'm like, okay. I
Okay.
wouldn't do that. I'd get vertigo. I'd fall out of the bus somehow. I don't know how it would happen, but I would fall out of the bus.
Somehow.
It would occur. It would happen.
If anything that I know would happen, I would fall out.
if I could, that's exactly what would occur.
That's funny.
But yeah, that's the thing. Okay, guys, we're at 11 o'clock. I'm
almost done
thinking
with
I'm
this
gonna
one.
head out and go.
That's actually fair. I actually need to get ready and go to work here in 10
You need
minutes.
to go to work. Brian needs a break, I think. Brian may not need a break. If you two gentlemen
Yeah, I
want to
could
join me-
actually use a break.
if you two gentlemen wish to join me tomorrow at the same time, I will be here, and we will be continuing with maps for me, because maps are a thing. And actually, by tomorrow, I should be ready to publish out these maps, so that should be good.
Mine all depends on what time I wake up. As you know.
Yep. So if you guys are wanting to join me, you may at any time. Thank you for joining me, Brent, over there. I know
If
he's
you're still
probably-
here. I think he
He's
was on
probably
lunch.
at lunch.
Yeah, I'm
I think
here.
he went to lunch.
I think he's already off lunch and probably heading back to
Back
work.
to work. Yeah.
No, I'm here.
Oh, you're talking about Brent,
Oh,
That other guy that was on our
the
stream.
other guy that's on here. Yeah, but Brian, if you want to join me tomorrow, you can, and that'd be cool. 9 to 11. Let's get this work done. Let's get it knocked out. In the meantime, I'm going to head out and cancel or call the show and go to the end credits and stuff like that. And Brian, yeah, you can just hang up at any point. So, because I'm going to turn off OBS and stuff like that. So,
All right. I'll talk to you later.
I'll talk to you guys later. And
Later.
for everybody else, keep your eyes on the stars. Bye. Computer, good night.